I'm saying that they will not win their division. They will not make the playoffs. It will be What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate podcast. Feels real good to say that again. Feels real good to have everybody back and back to normal, get into our routines again, because we've been away for quite a while, about 2 weeks. Last week we went to LA. I'm sure you guys saw the podcast we posted last week of all of us in LA for the Dolphins-Chargers game. It was an amazing time. We all had so much fun. We actually did a SoFi tour, so we got to go on the field and see SoFi in all its glory. I mean, it's an incredible stadium, state-of-the-art facility, technology, LED lights and everything are just insane. That Jumbotron is bigger in person. It's crazy. And we also got to see a really great game. We got to see, Jonathan, I know you love Tyreek Hill, 2 big touchdowns from him, a fumble recovery, amazing, and a long, maybe it was like a 65-yard touchdown down our sideline that we were on. Jonathan, what did you think about that?
That was incredible. To see it live in person, it was like a track meet. I remember the track meet days where everybody's screaming loud and that really fast guy is, beating everybody. That's how it was. It was amazing. I mean, it would have been a lot better if Tua played a better game. I mean, but Tyreek tried his best to keep him in the game, but Tua was just having a really awful game. John said all the stats about Tua being inaccurate, and I didn't believe him. I'm not gonna lie, but when I saw it in person, I was like, okay, John's probably right. He was missing every single throw, literally. I mean, all you have to do is throw it deep to Tyreek. Like every play, you're gonna score a touchdown, or Jalen Waddle for that instance. But this guy was just going off target every single play. I was like, man, this is sad. And I had the Tua jersey on. I probably should have bought the Tyreek one.
So, that answer. I was going to ask if your opinion of Tua changed at all, seeing him in person. So, I think I have my answer.
Yeah, he's been like, he started off the season really good, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tua, this guy is awesome," and he was good, but like for some reason, I don't know if he got scared. I don't know if he's getting a little nervous because the playoffs are coming. I don't know, but these past few games, he's not been there. I don't know what's going on. I hope he picks back up, but he's not looking too great.
Yeah, John, those uncatchable targets come to bite him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it. Nobody believes me, but when you actually watch the game, you see that every other pass he throws is literally just not even catchable by the receiver.
I was about to say throughout the game, you're like, no one believed me. Like no one.
Yeah, all those people on TikTok, they owe John an apology.
Yes,
all those people.
They all do.
Every single one of them.
Well,
so
we're going to talk about the Dolphins. They're in trouble. And we called this. One of our last podcasts, Jonathan, you weren't there, but it was us three. And we pulled up the Dolphins schedule. And it was brutal. And I think as of right now, they haven't won one game out of that schedule so far. So we kind of foresaw this coming. And it doesn't look like it's getting any easier. I mean, they do play the Packers and the Jets. So they are easier teams, but the Dolphins still need to play way better than what they're doing right now to even beat a team like the Packers, a team like the Jets, because Jets have a really great defense, and it's always tough to beat Aaron Rodgers. So this podcast, we're going to be talking about those bubble teams, the ones that are in the hunt, who can take those 3 wild card spots in the AFC and in the NFC. We'll start off today with the NFC. I think it's a little bit easier to kind of call who's going to take this wild card spot. I'll go through this really quick. So as of right now, the leaders of the divisions for the NFC East, it's the Eagles. NFC North is the Vikings. The NFC West is the 49ers, and NFC South is the Bucks. So Eagles have that first spot, Vikings have the second, 49ers have the third, and the Bucks have the fourth. So now it gets a little interesting with the wild card spot. First wild card spot is the Cowboys. Now they're 10-4. They're pretty.
Let's go.
I mean, it looks like they're probably going to be in. I feel like I'm confident saying that.
Well, they already clinched the playoffs.
You already clinched, buddy.
They already. Yeah, they're already in the playoffs.
What do you clinch, bro?
Oh, so if they lose out,
if they lose out, they're in the playoffs.
I think they're gonna want to.
That's disappointing because they lost to the Jags and they clinched a playoff spot because of that.
That's why they
because
get stakes.
I think it was because the Seahawks lost or something.
They're starting to.
Interesting.
It was a big game to
Okay.
lose because then they don't really control all of their destiny. Like if the Eagles went out, like the
Right.
game this weekend's going to be important for I think a first round bye and home field advantage.
Wow.
All the Eagles have to do is win one more game, and then they have the first round bye, which they play
get that.
Cowboys. Let's say they lose that because Hurts isn't there. Then let's say they have Saints and Giants, so they'll probably beat the Saints and then be able to rest players against the Giants. That's my opinion.
Yes, exactly. So like Cowboys really don't need to win any of the games.
Right?
Honestly.
Yeah. Cowboys don't. Cowboys are going to get the first wild card spot. They're going to be
So-
playing the Bucks. It's going to be Cowboys Bucks
Exactly.
first round. So
Yeah, I
they're
agree.
locked.
Dude, if that were to happen, you think you think Brady comes back alive?
I mean, it's going to
Team
be well. The thing is, it's going
Right?
to be in Tampa Bay, and remember,
Yeah.
Week 1,
If
the
it
Bucks
is.
won that game and held the Cowboys to only 3 points.
I mean, but the Bucks, look at them this season. They've struggled so much. It's not Tom Brady's fault. His offensive line's not doing great. He doesn't have the best receivers, and so
But it's
I think
but
they're
it's
gonna-
in Tampa. Cowboys aren't that great away from home. They're not
Yeah.
elite away from home.
Elite.
But then
I mean, hey, the Bucks are 6. The Bucks are 6-8. I'm not too worried, but the Cowboys are just gonna. It's gonna be an easy win.
I would
want that to
normally
happen.
pick against the Cowboys if it comes to that. I would normally because it's Brady, right? But I think Week 1 is interesting because maybe they will come back alive because it is Brady in the playoffs. But then I also think Week 1 they had the hype of it's Brady and the Bucks. Like we didn't know they were going to be 6-8. So I think momentum is definitely going to be a thing if they play each other. I don't know. Will they continue? I don't. What's going to change?
It's tough. It's tough to say. I mean, didn't the Cowboys lose to the Bucks in the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only scored
So-
3
Yeah, but
points.
it was beginning of the season. Everybody's still trying to figure out their offense and how
Yeah,
to play
they weren't
with-
trying.
It doesn't
Yeah,
really
it doesn't
count.
matter.
We've heard
We
it.
know
I mean,
all
they're trying, but everybody's still trying to figure out the flow and get
Yeah,
up
it's
to
not
game
like they've
speed.
had the same team the last 3 years.
Yeah, this is different. The Bucks team is not good.
What was a lot?
I mean, it's not Tom Brady's fault. He can only do so much.
Well, he's not. I don't know.
So,
Okay.
all right. So let's get back. So we have the NFC wild card.
Wait,
slot
hold on.
One.
So does everybody agree that the division winners will stay the same? Because the Bucks have a chance to not make
Yes.
the playoffs because Panthers, Saints,
Yeah.
and Falcons are all 5-8. Bucks are just one game ahead,
It's
6
so
and
dumb.
8. Or
Yeah,
they're
I
5
looked
and
at the
9,
schedule.
Bucks are 6 and 8.
Yeah.
I looked at the schedule for the Panthers, Saints, Falcons. They're not. Bucks are probably going to win out. Like,
Yeah, I
they're
agree.
going to win.
Who are the Bucks next
I think
few
the-
games?
They're Cardinals
I
and then Panthers and then Falcons. So the Panthers and Falcons have a chance because they play the Bucks, but
Yeah.
it seems like Bucks are going to beat Cardinals. They have to play Colt McCoy, Sam Darnold, and Desmond Ritter. I mean,
Exactly.
Brady's going to win at least 2 of those.
Imagine if he
Oh, yeah.
doesn't. Is that the end
Well,
of it?
so
that'd be
I have-
crazy.
I have for the last 2, the Giants and Commanders currently are in those last 2 wild card spots. So the wild card, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. So there's 3 teams that could technically make it. Seahawks, Lions, and Packers. Now, we just saw the Giants, Commanders. Commanders lost, a little bit controversial, but the Giants, that was a huge win, and they also, I believe, will own the tiebreaker against the Commanders. So I think the Giants knock that second wild card spot. So now it goes Cowboys, Giants,
Yes.
and now we're looking at that third and last spot.
Yep.
And it's a toss-up between Commanders, Seahawks, Lions, Packers. Me personally, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't think the Commanders keep it.
I agree with that. But
I don't think the Seahawks get it. And I don't think the Packers get it.
You think the Lions?
I
get it?
think the Detroit Lions. And look,
What a
look.
comeback.
I look really stupid. Dan Campbell made me look really stupid because I think in one of the recent podcasts I said that he should be fired. And I think they've won 6 out of their last 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
He took that and
Like,
used it as
just-
fuel.
See what happens when
Yeah.
your defense plays a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you have a
Yeah.
great offense. Your defense just plays a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right now.
Honestly.
They're on a tear. They're on a tear. They're one of the hottest teams. And their schedule, I'm telling you right now, they don't lose another game. I think they go 10-7 and they snag
Really?
that third
No, how-
wild card
okay.
Who are
spot.
the next
Hold
3
on.
games that are
Because in week 18, They in January, on January 8th, they go to Lambeau Field. Tell me how they're going to win that game.
They've already won against the Packers this year.
Okay.
It doesn't just flip. Remember the 49ers?
Do you know what
West
Lambeau
Coast
Field
team?
is?
49ers West Coast team came into Lambeau during the playoffs and beat them.
That's the 49ers. Did you realize
Detroit
how much
can
of a
do
difference
it.
that is?
Detroit can do it. The Packers aren't
yeah,
the
they can do it.
Packers anymore.
Yeah, Detroit's going to do it.
It's possible.
I agree.
It's more possible than ever before. And at the beginning of the season, I mean,
Yes.
I think I for sure said it. I think someone else might have joined me, but these aren't the Lions of old. You know, even when they were on that rough little path they were on when Jared, you might have said something about Campbell. You know, I'm happy for. I don't want the Lions to win the Super Bowl or anything, but to see a franchise do so poorly and see them turn it around, contrast that with the Packers. The Lions at least have been a little more I don't know, consistent's the right word, because they had that
I mean, 6-1 in the last 7.
Yeah, like consistency, because the Packers have flashes of greatness, but that's like, again, we talked about this earlier in the season. Like, just what's fundamentally changed with the Packers for them to make it far in the playoffs. So if that hasn't changed, it's not crazy that if the Lions are good, it's going to take away from the Packers, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, John, do you have the Lions taking that third spot?
No, I actually just looked at it. I have something different than you. I don't think Lions will make it. I actually think it's going to stay the exact same. And here's why. Here's what's going to happen. Yep. Listen. So, it goes Cowboys in the first, Giants in the second, Commanders in the third. Now, what's going to happen is this. The Eagles are going to lose to the Cowboys this week because Minshew is starting, right? And the Giants are going to lose to the Vikings, unfortunately. But then, since the Eagles are going to beat the Saints in week 17, the Eagles will clinch a first-round bye. So they will rest players against the Giants in week 18. So the Giants will win that game and go to 10-6-1. Now at that point, the Cowboys would have already beat the Eagles, and in week 17 they would have beat the Titans. That makes the Cowboys 12-4. That means the Cowboys can now rest players against the Commanders in week 18. And now the Commanders, all they have to do is beat the Browns and beat the Cowboys' backups, and they are in the playoffs. That is what's going to happen.
Time traveler.
Yeah, I like that.
You agree, Joe?
I like that. I mean, the NFC East has been playing really well this year, so I agree. I think all of them are going to make the playoffs. They all deserve to make the playoffs based on performance.
They all deserve to get in.
It'd be crazy. It'd also be the first time in history that's possible, right?
Yeah.
Wait, so what would their record be?
They would end the season 9-7-1. And honestly, they might
the
be
Lions
able to
will end. The Lions will end at 10-7.
Well, Giants.
They'll need help.
Lions will not go into Lambeau and win in week 18. That's not going to happen. Lions are going to finish 9-8 and miss the playoffs.
You got to let go of the Packers. Let go.
They just beat
the
Rams.
On.
They just beat the. Listen to yourself.
Did you see Baker Mayfield? Did you see that guy?
We
were flying over Baker Mayfield as he was doing a game-winning drive.
We were
last
in
week.
the plane, and I saw him lift up to heaven because he was so good.
I was assuming go back down like he didn't die. Came back with a win for the Rams.
Anybody else think? So I have Lions. John has the Commanders. Does anybody else differ, or do they agree with the Commanders? Do they agree with the Lions? Let's hear some thoughts before we move to AFC.
I would love for the Lions to be there. That would be an awesome story, awesome turnaround. And I followed them in Hard Knocks, and I'm a huge supporter of Dan Campbell and all those players. But I agree with John. It makes sense. I mean, hey, like I said, the NFC East has been playing well, and the Commanders, they have the players to do it. I think, again, if you look on the record and the performance of the NFC East, they're likely going to win out. They're likely going to maybe lose one game, but they're likely going to win majority of their games. They know what they have to do, and I think the NFC East is all going to make the playoffs. So yeah. I agree with John.
I can't root for the Commanders because they like they angered me a lot, especially Heineke. And so
I think Heineke celebrating is like a nightmare.
it made me so.
Commanders are a nightmare for the Eagles. The Commanders are a nightmare for the Eagles. They don't want to see the Commanders.
He celebrated drawing a foul. This is like all right.
Yeah, if Eagles play Commanders in the playoffs, that could knock them out.
over.
Commanders could go to NFC Championship versus the Giants. Imagine if it's Giants, Commanders, NFC Championship.
Oh
wow.
No, we can't have that.
The nightmare.
No, Commanders are.
Taylor Heineke.
There's that personal grudge, which is personal. I don't know the guy personally, but that's my impression of him. The franchise as a whole, it's not at Browns level yet, but it's literally under a government investigation. So it's hard to root for them on that level too. But I kind of am going to go a little bit. I'll float some ideas where my mind's at, and you guys can evaluate. Because I like the Lions too. They're on a hot streak. Momentum is a really big thing in the NFL, and I've been, Lions aren't perfect, but if we're just talking about taking one of the three, the last or the third wild card, I think I'm looking at the Lions, Packers, or Seahawks. Realistically, I'm discounting the Saints and Falcons.
That's basically 3 of the 4 that you're picking.
I'm not even.
You have a 75% chance of being right there. Which one do you think will get in?
The Commanders are in that third spot, and he's like, they're already out.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at.
I'm looking at the next 5 teams that are one of those.
I like to whatever. Not put all my eggs in one basket. All right.
Are you gonna follow your season-long commitment of rocking with the Seattle Seahawks?
That might be a little bias behind why I'm including the.
I feel like you have to just go all in. We're in week 16. You might as well just keep going.
At this point, yeah, like fantasy.
Don't cash out.
Yeah.
Don't cash out.
Double down if anything. Because
no
realistically,
doubling down, just all in.
Because of those teams, if the Lions win out, they control their destiny, and I think
if they win out, they're 10-7.
Yeah,
if the Commanders win out, they're 10-6-1, so they get in. But
we're not assuming
it's highly unlikely that they're going to beat the 49ers.
Well, it's like I don't know off the top of my head what teams will need help or like what their schedules will conflict where they can't statistically go. But if I had to pick,
why don't I pull up the Seahawks schedule right now? You tell me who they win.
Oh,
Chiefs.
All right.
Chiefs. Next week.
Okay, then after that,
win or loss.
I see the whole picture for you.
All right.
Well, if they have to play the Bills and then the Eagles, that means they're going to lose to the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs,
Jets, Rams.
Chiefs,
Jets, Rams.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Chiefs, Jets, Rams.
Chiefs also already clinched the division, didn't they?
Yeah, but they still have to get a first round bye.
Yes.
Yeah. If I gave
let's say Seahawks win the Jets and Rams, right? That would put them at 11. What?
That'd put them at 9-8.
Oh, sorry. That would put them at 9-8.
Yeah.
So that would not be good enough.
You know what? I'm gonna stick with the Seahawks for this one because the Chiefs are gonna want the first round bye, but and I think Geno Smith's been a little more inconsistent, but I still like him. The Seahawks need this game more next week. So this isn't my locker upset, but I would not count out the Seahawks against the Chiefs because the Seahawks are going to be for blood or playing the spoil too. That's a big thing. So
and we just saw the Texans take them to overtime.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's like this whole season has been really weird because there's so many. Like I'm just looking at every standing. There's so many 6-8, 5-9 teams. Like it's I was going to ask you guys. This is a little off topic, on topic, but not to deflect from my pick. For third spot, I'll cement it. I'll rank it number 1 choice because it's by choice. Seahawks. 2 is Lions, and then 3 would be the Packers, and then Commanders can enjoy the offseason, rest their players. But is there any team in the NFL right now that you guys think is like outright dominant? You know what I mean? Like I feel like in other years past, there's been teams that have been like no questions, like this is going to be a contender.
No, there's no team this season.
Like every team has something that's weird.
I think the Eagles would be the closest, but the argument against them is their strength of schedule.
Exactly.
And there's no team in the AFC that's been consistent enough to say that they're dominant. Bills, no. Chiefs, not a chance. Neither of them. Vikings,
NFC,
no.
Bengals are doing well too, but I was just thinking about this because I am biased towards the Eagles. I would say the Eagles. I'm wearing the jersey, but yeah, I was actually going to agree. I don't agree with the strength of schedule thing fully, but they're like as a football fan, they're super balanced in every regard. But they did have that loss against Washington, which was garbage. But like in other years, I'm just thinking about like, looking at the Bucks and Brady, and then the Patriots like playing kind of bad football for so many years. Like there was always the Patriots, they're always this team, or the Seahawks with Wilson. Like they're always contenders. And this year, not that there aren't teams that are really good, but there's no dominant like every team can be beaten. Like you're saying, like there's just not a lot of consistency. I feel like almost every team has been like the chink in the armor has been shown. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to call and see what other like analysts across the league call for the playoff picture from based off today's data, because who knows? Like the Texans going to overtime, with the Cowboys, and it's playing the spoil. Who knows?
What do you guys think as far as the Buccaneers? Everyone think they're going to get in?
Yeah, they're winning out.
Okay.
All right.
So we all agree Eagles, Vikings, 49ers, Bucks, Cowboys, Giants. That we can all agree on.
I could agree on not the order of that, but I can agree on the fact that they'll all
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The order maybe Vikings or 49ers.
I can't cement the Bucks. Just off the stats, like it's a 1-game difference. You know what I mean? And football can be so close, but the bias in me is it's Brady and the Bucks. So it's like,
yeah, I was just gonna say that you hate Brady.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the number. Like it's too close to call.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I hate him. But
I do hate him. It's just too close to call.
Correct.
Like the Bucks could play really great games, and then any of their 3 opponents could have a good one.
But I'm saying, who do you think's going to get in? Because the Saints would have to play the Eagles, so the Saints would have to take a loss. Like the Panthers have to play. If you're saying the Lions are playing well, they're going to lose to the Lions, and then the Falcons play the Ravens this week. Like that's not in. Like who do you think's going to get in though? If the Bucks,
yeah, and that's what the other part is I couldn't really like. I would lean of all those 3, 5, and 9 teams in the NFC South that the strongest, I'd say, is the Saints.
Yeah,
but you do get into questions of schedule. But yeah, you're right. It's just for me, I can't cement it for this podcast at least, because it's a 1-game difference. Like if it is truly Brady and the Bucks of old, this shouldn't be a conversation we should be having. You know what I mean? The Bucks should be way ahead if that's true.
That's
so
true.
It's just statistically not. There's three games left and it's a 1-game difference, so they have a 1-game cushion. So next week if they lose and someone else wins, like we're looking at a totally different picture. I would say on paper the strongest of those 3 is the Saints, but the Bucks are probably the most. The Bucks have the highest ceiling, but they haven't been consistent. So
of course, because they have the best quarterback. So like you can
right,
lean on that.
And Panthers I think are just kind of Panthers and Falcons are I think going to be playing the spoil. Like those guys want to win, but I think the Saints have a team that could make a run, and that would be a win for that franchise for this season.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to AFC. AFC, I think it gets a little tougher. I thought we'd agree a lot more on the
So
NFC.
it always goes.
Let's take a look. So the Bills, they're in. Chiefs, they're in. Bengals, they're in. Titans, they're in. As far as division winners, I'm not saying they're in from my rankings. I'm saying that's what's happening right now. Those are the 4 division winners, and then you have the Ravens in the first wildcard spot, Chargers in the second, and Dolphins in the third. Now, as far as bubble teams or in the hunt or whatever you want to call it, you got the Patriots, Jets, Jags, and Raiders. So I want to start with mine. It's going to seem like deja vu. Last year, John, who was my fakest team?
Titans.
The Tennessee Titans. And guys, it's a new year, but same old Titans. They are fake. They are so fake, ladies and gentlemen. They will, if they make the playoffs, like I said last year, even if they make the playoffs, they will get bounced first game they play. Last year, they play the Bengals, they get bounced. They were the first number 1 seed and had a bye, they get bounced. This year, they will not have that first round bye. I don't care who plays them, they will get bounced first round. You can book it right now. I'm saying that they will not win their division. They will not make the playoffs. It will be Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That is
Trevor
interesting.
Lawrence.
You're saying
That's a good take. That's a good take.
The Jaguars are going to beat the Jets,
Beat the Jets,
the Texans,
beat the Texans,
but then
beat the Titans.
the Titans game, that's going to be the deciding game. That's literally in
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville, the last game of the season that will decide win and get in or lose and you're out.
Handle business against the Jets, handle business against the Texans. The game is up for grabs. The division is up for grabs in the Titans game. And I think they're going to do it. A couple stats, for people who don't really believe me, the Titans, they let up the most passing yards per game. 4th worst in total yards per game. -1 in turnover differential. 15th most in rushing yards, which is what they do. That's literally their strongest suit and their 15th best. And not to mention Tannehill's injuries on and off. You never know with him. So that worries me. Guys, they don't even have A.J. Brown this year. It's a wrap. It's dunzo. It's like I if I had any money left, I'd bet Titans to lose every single.
There's a reason you don't have any.
I was
going to
say
so
like
that's why I'm not trusting you on this.
It's not my fault.
I agree with your take. It's just funny when you preface it like, despite all of.
You know why I don't have any money?
Who?
Because of the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Cowboys.
It's all the Cowboys' fault.
It's all the Cowboys' fault.
Eagles.
I am
fans
taking
always...
Jags all the way.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think the Jags snag the AFC South,
Nice.
and they get that division winner for slot 4. Seed.
I can say that there's a possibility that that'll happen, but that won't happen. The Titans are still going to win the division because the Titans are going to handle business this week against the Texans. Then the Titans are going to lose to the Cowboys, like I said. But then, like you're saying, if the Jaguars go to MetLife Stadium on Thursday, which is basically today, they would have to beat the Jets. Now, they just beat the Cowboys, so they should be able to beat Zach Wilson, but that defense is always good. Let's say they win that game. Don't forget, they have to go to Houston and play the Texans in Week 17. You know who beat them? You know who the Texans' only win is this season? It was against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. So not only...
Yeah, but it was the beginning of the year. They weren't trying,
It actually wasn't that early in the season. It was Week 5. So... That's tough.
They didn't want to show
they have to play the Jets on the road, play the Texans on the road, and then play the Titans. And I think even if they win those 2 games and play the Titans in Week 18, I think when it comes down to it, I think that the Titans are going to be more buttoned up than the Jags. I like Doug Peterson and everything, but I'm going to trust Derrick Henry, Vrabel's defense, and Tannehill in that game more than I trust Trevor Lawrence and that Jaguars defense.
I'm not going to add much more. I just kind of agree with Jared and everything you said, Jared. I will agree with. Jonathan.
Yeah. So, sorry, I've been a little bit out of it, but to be completely frank,
we are talking about the AFC South.
Yeah. AFC South.
Do you like the Titans?
Okay, were you impressed?
Titans or Jaguars?
Were you impressed by the Jaguars? Were you impressed?
Oh yeah.
Jaguars won?
Well, I mean, I don't want to, get ahead, but I was gonna. I think Jaguars are they're picking things up.
You like
Doug Peterson has turned things around already. I like them.
Yeah,
I like them.
You like them more than the Titans.
At this point in the season, oh man, that's a tough one. I like them more than Titans at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Things are just clicking, and people are putting all this crap on the Cowboys. But number one, like I said, the Cowboys weren't. I mean, it's not me. I'm not being biased. I'm just saying the facts. The Cowboys weren't trying their best, okay?
Oh my! Whoa!
No,
Wait! Before you keep going, explain to me why you think it's a fact that the Cowboys weren't trying their hardest? Not opinion. Why do you think it's a fact?
If you look at the statistics, I'm kidding. No, look, it's all strategy. Everybody knows this. You don't show your best plays right before the playoffs start. Cowboys, hey, we're not gonna really fight for a division crown. So give it to the Eagles. For right now, let's not show too much of our plays because when it comes to playoff time,
hold on.
which we know we're gonna make, we're probably gonna clinch.
So you're saying when they were beating the Jaguars by like 2 touchdowns, you think the guy calling the plays, which is that still Kellen Moore?
Yeah, I think it's Kellen Moore.
You think he was like, actually, I have these couple plays. I think they'll work. But you know what? Let me save them. I just don't want to use them yet. I don't want to get too many points. I don't want to really – maybe it'll cause an injury. Maybe something will happen. I just don't want to risk it. Let's just not show those plays. You think that's what he was thinking?
He was thinking that. He's not going to say it and tell everybody outright, but that's what he's thinking. He's like, all right, I'm going to save this for the playoffs because we're coming for the playoffs. And so, yeah, the Jaguars probably want to win this. Okay.
So why don't they why don't they just sit all their players from here on out? If they already know
they need the conditioning.
You can condition in practice.
No, it's different. Game speed is different than practice.
That's true.
You know
all right,
that.
Wrap it up.
Okay, come on.
And so, yeah, look, I think the Jaguars are legit towards the end of the season for some reason. I think Doug Peterson has had enough weeks to give Trevor Lawrence confidence. He knows how to use the offense now. Now they're scoring a lot of points. Trevor Lawrence has confidence now, if you look at the past few weeks. And so, yeah, I think the Jaguars are going to
You think they're going to beat – you think they're going to win the division? Beat the Titans out?
There's a high chance, yeah.
We also got to remember the Titans lost to the Jags this year already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I think
they know how to beat them. And the Jags last year, remember, they beat the Colts last year.
I was going to say.
Who were a playoff. They ran the bubble. So they come alive late in the game.
They'll like to spoil. I think they did that to the Colts. Yeah, they did that to the Colts. But it was another year, too, I think, where it's just the last game of the season, they always spoil another team.
Yeah.
But I'll give it to you, John, about the Titans, meaning looking at the schedule for the Titans, where they have the Texans, Cowboys, Jags, I think the Jaguars have a tougher schedule considering the Jets are going to be fighting for more. Texans might be the spoil, and they've been kind of getting really creative lately, giving teams a run for their money, and the Titans, of course. Yeah. So they might have a tougher schedule, but I'm still leaning Jags because I like Doug Peterson. I like that Lawrence is fumbling too much. He's got to get the ball control. And it's kind of amazing that they're still winning games, though. But they're winning games, so it's like that's why, Jared, you were saying like it's a little bit like the Packers. Like they have a good thing going, but what's if they're 15th in the run, like you said, like if they get it, they're probably a first round bounce. Who are they going to throw to, as AJ Brown said? So that's why I'm kind of just overall going with the Jags dysfunctionality kind of gutting together. I'd rather the Jags in that situation. So I could see them as a division winner. So are we all agreeing for the 3? We're talking about the wild cards now.
No, it's for the division. So
yeah.
So it's Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, and then toss up between Titans, Jags, and then we'll move into the wild card, which is Ravens, Chargers, Dolphins. Currently, I'll go first. I have that staying the same. I think all 3 make it. I don't think Patriots, Jets, Raiders. I don't think they move into the wild card spot. So for me, that stays the same. I don't know about you guys.
I agree. Maybe the order will change a little bit, but those 3 are getting in.
Does Lamar come back soon?
He's going to come back probably next week, not this week against the Falcons, but probably next week against the Steelers.
Because Bengals 10-4, Ravens 9-5. That's where I am a little hesitant to just call it for the Bengals, because the Bengals are playing well, but that's a little close if Lamar comes back early, or just they're going to need help from each other.
Especially because the the Bengals do have a tough schedule. They go to Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots, then they play the Bills. So that's not easy. To win one of those would be nice. I mean, if they went 2-0, that'd be crazy. But then that Week 18 game against the Ravens in Cincinnati, that could decide the division.
Yeah.
But I think we would all agree that the loser of that Week 18 game would still get the first wild card spot.
Yeah, I would say
either way.
The division's interesting, but I would agree with that, especially Lamar coming back. So really, it's what the 2 other wild cards would be if we're all kind of agreeing that.
Right.
It would
I think I'm gonna agree with the same thing. I think my opinion is that the wild card will go Chargers, Ravens, Dolphins. But like you guys, Jared and Jonathan said, I think it will be these three teams. The order could change, but I agree. I think it'll be these three.
And that's the most likely, right? Because the only others not you specifically, but just in general, Patriots 7-7, Jets 7-7, and the Browns and Steelers 6-8, as well as the Raiders. So, like Ravens 9-5, Chargers 8-6, Dolphins 8-6. Like they have that cushion, so we kind of seeing that being the same. Is that kind of what we're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's interesting though. The AFC in terms of the top right now, number 1 and number 2. Who's going to get the number 1 and number 2? Right. That's huge implications for who's going to get the Super Bowl, I think.
Whoever loses whoever loses is going to be done. I mean, basically Chiefs aren't going to lose. They play Seahawks, Broncos, Raiders. That's easy. So Bills are going to have to hold that top spot. Bills are going to have to beat the Bears, which they should, and then Bengals and Patriots. So Bengals Patriots that's not easy games. Those two are tough. So
yeah, and there's a stat I think I saw the other day. If you get that number 1 seed, that's huge because you essentially have like a 50% chance of making a Super Bowl appearance.
Oh, really? Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think. So last year there was a huge whiff. Titans and Packers, both number 1 seeds, they both lost. I think that was the first time since like 2010 or something like that. But before that, 62 number 1 seeds since 1990, 30 or is it 64? Yeah, I think it was 64. 32 ended up making the Super Bowl, right?
Wow.
But then 14 ended up winning the Super Bowl. So I think that number 1 seed is going to be huge in terms of the Bills and the Chiefs. So we shall see. But that should be interesting though.
And the way this season's gone, that's why I was bringing up the numbers, not to like just talk to you guys all numbers, but like it's still so close that the way this season has been, underperformers overperform and the vice versa, that who knows. But I would generally agree with how it stands right now. But like my issues with the NFC South, like technically Patriots and Jets, and the Jets aren't the Jets of old either, they're 1 game away from 8-6, so they might need help, but it's not crazy to think one of those 2 guys could do it. Probably more than the Browns or Raiders, though. I'd agree with that part.
I would say the Jets are probably most likely because
I'd agree with
the
that.
Patriots have to play Bengals, Dolphins, Bills, so to win one of those would be impressive. But the Jets, if they beat the Jaguars, and then let's say they could beat the Seahawks, then they would have to beat the Dolphins to get in. Which is possible, but I think that's still unlikely.
And I'd keep the Dolphins in there as one of my wild card picks because they've been losing a little bit, but they've been very close games. Like part of football is just sometimes the ball doesn't land your way. I'm not saying like Tua didn't throw some bad plays or whatever, but they've had 2 back-to-back nail biters. So like the fact they have a team that can win games, it just didn't work out that way last 2 weeks. Same way with the Bengals at the start of the season. So I would count more on the Dolphins keeping it together, but yeah, and then we do have to look at the Titans too. But yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, the Dolphins actually played surprisingly well in Buffalo.
Yeah,
I mean the run game just came alive. Raheem Mostert all of a sudden.
Yeah,
he's so fast.
I don't know how you can run against the Bills, but you can't run against the Chargers.
I know, really. How does that happen?
I have no clue. All right, let's move into lock and upset. It's been a while. I think since like week 12 or something, or week 11 is the last time we did it. So we're back. I'm gonna refresh everyone on the standings. Nothing really changed. John is still in first at 12-11. Caleb, you're in second at 12-11, and then I am also in third with 12-11. So there is a 3-way tie, and then fourth is 11-12 for Jonathan. So literally this week could change everything.
Yes, it will change everything.
Yes.
It will. It will change everything. All right, Jonathan, well, you're up first as always. Hopefully you're not up first next week. Tell us your lock.
My lock. I'm choosing the strong momentous Los Angeles Chargers to beat the Colts. That's my lock.
Wow.
Wow.
Thanks.
Picking
Thanks for that.
picking the Chargers to do anything is very
Very bold.
Yeah.
They're looking good. They're
bold,
looking good.
They are.
They weren't.
And
weren't on
honestly,
my
I mean,
schedule.
okay, I don't want to get off topic, but if imagine the Chargers play the Bills right now. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it
What
out
are you
there.
saying? What would happen?
The Chargers are looking really good. They're looking like a strong AFC team. So hey, I can't wait till they make the playoffs.
That'd be a fun
Love
game
it.
to watch, I would say.
We saw them in person. They look pretty good. Keenan Allen looks healthy. Mike Williams looks healthy.
Yeah.
Eckler looking strong as ever.
Defense is looking a little bit better.
Yeah. A little bit better is what's going to get you far in this year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. I am going to go with my old reliable. I pick them a lot. Chiefs over the Seahawks. Patty Mahomes.
No Tyler
old
Lockett.
reliable. No Tyler Lockett. DK is going to have a day and a half. But I think the Chiefs hold on.
Okay. And they were 9.5-point favorites, the Chiefs. Just to
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is
well,
correct.
I just look at the Chiefs and I know they're favorites.
oh wow.
They'll never not be favorites.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
would be interesting to see. So it's my turn now, right? For lock.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I going third place. I don't know how you do it every week. John going fourth. I'm gonna go with my lock. They are 3-point favorites. Is the Lions over the Panthers?
Wow.
Okay. Very good pick. That could be a close one.
Keep it exciting.
That could be a sweater.
A nice
All right,
Christmas
John, you're up.
sweater.
Yeah, I never heard that phrase
Yeah.
before.
Oh yeah, these are going to be all Christmas Eve games,
Ooh,
correct?
that does.
Yes,
Does that change
these are all
things?
Christmas Eve games.
That does change things.
Very
Oh.
nice.
Think so, but
We got to
all right.
see how many of these
I am-
players celebrate Christmas and then do the math.
I think you guys left me with some tough games, and I think anything
Well-
I pick will probably be very close. But I'm probably going to have to go with the San Francisco 49ers at home against the Commanders. They're 7-point favorites. Now, Commanders are always upset special. They can always
Yeah.
do it. But I'm hoping
do
for
it.
the Giants' sake, and 49ers have been rolling. Their defense has been unstoppable. So I'm going to go with the 49ers as my lock.
Yeah, I saw that, and I
Okay.
was hesitant to pick it because of the Commanders' reputation.
Yeah,
I also,
I think
yeah,
it'll be closer. But
I think the 49ers get it too. I mean, they did clinch, but yeah, okay, I like
So
that.
we have Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Lions, and 49ers. Okay. I could see that happening. So we're all 1-0 right
Okay.
now.
No
Now-
conflicts of interest. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, I know. No one's going at each other. Now we're on to the upsets. Jonathan, take it away.
I'm picking the Jags to upset the Jets on Thursday Night Football, and it's pretty close in terms of the spread. It's Jets -1, +1, and so it's gonna be a really close game. But I'm picking the Jags to overtake this one.
Thursday night. So literally tonight, like when this posted.
Oh, tonight it's gonna
So-
be great.
We'll know real quick if you're right or wrong.
Oh, I'll be right, and I'll be going 2-0. So you guys better win. You guys better be careful what you guys pick next week. Be careful what comes out of your mouth next, because Jonathan's coming.
I think I might go with
Pause.
Jets. How careful is that?
Oh, let's do that.
Gave you a warning.
My upset. I have a lot to choose from now that Jonathan picked that.
You go on.
I could go with the Eagles.
You could.
Gardner Minshew. You know, there's Coach Leach.
Minshew
guy.
mustache.
Minshew mustache, yeah.
What Cowboys are favored to win that one?
Yeah. Well, because Hurts is out.
Oh, okay. Well,
As many of you guys know, like Gardner Minshew's college coach passed away a couple weeks ago. Mike Leach, R.I.P. to him. Great coach, so funny, charismatic, very unique coach, and look, it just is so beautiful that Minshew has been a backup for so long, and it's been years since he had like a proper start. And weeks after his college coach dies, he coincidentally Hurts gets hurt, and he is now a starter in a big game against the Cowboys. I mean, this is no exhibition game. This is no throwaway game. Like, he's got to play his best.
Is that your pick, though?
With that being said,
I am not gonna pick.
I am going with the Houston Texans to beat the Tennessee Titans Christmas Eve special.
Oh no!
You guys would not believe. It's gonna be so great. You're gonna be like, you're gonna watch this and be like, wow,
what's this?
They are fake.
Yeah, no,
they are so fake. They are as fake as that Christmas tree in the back.
Are they as fake as Santa? I mean, Santa's real, but
whoa! Hey!
He's real.
No, I'm
He's
cutting it out.
testing the faith.
Oh, looks like I'm moving up in the rankings.
Kids,
I'm cutting
ages
it
8 through 12.
I'm cutting it out.
Key and Peele.
It looks like I'm moving up in the rankings. Thanks, Jared. All right, who's next?
Whoa. The quarterback duo, the two quarterback system only seen in college and a couple NFL teams, Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills. They were so close against the Cowboys. Should have done it. They were so close against the Chiefs. They should have done it.
Yeah.
But this time around, a Christmas miracle is upon us, and it is going to arrive on the Houston Texans. They're finally going to get their second win.
I like that pick.
Go Texans.
I like that pick.
Caleb, I left you with your team.
And I will remember this because I was very kind of you, and I am going to pick them. I am picking the Eagles over the Cowboys.
Minshew mania.
My God.
I like Minshew,
Yes.
and it's a twist of fate, that everything you explained why it's interesting, and I like that we have Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's any chump. If you remember, you guys in general, like he wasn't he was very young in his quarterbacking career, but brought some flair to Jacksonville, and they moved on when they got a chance to get Lawrence, which is understandable for the ceiling. But as far as, say, if you consider him a journeyman backup, I like his ceiling a lot more than some other journeyman backups who are just like, when they're in that your season's over. At least with inconsistent great quarterbacks who aren't aren't worthy to be a starter but are better than a backup. Like look at Andy Dalton and them. That's, he might not have been the guy for Bengals, but I'm saying the Saints have somewhat of a chance versus nothing personal, but like Colt McCoy and the Cardinals. Like that's you should have.
It almost is like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of career where he starts off with the Bills and then he goes and he just kind of a journeyman around to different, but sometimes he's a backup. Yeah, Geno. So Gardner Minshew is pretty good. And last year he came in and played a game. Was that the game that Goddard had
he had
billion
100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 35
I think he won that one.
points.
I think I remember there's a video of him hugging his dad, Gardner Minshew hugging his dad after that game.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. I
remember
remember that in the parking lot.
So he can do it.
So, all right. So you pick the Eagles as your upset.
They are because Hurts is injured. They are 4.5 point underdogs despite the record.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, after all that, and me always complaining about having the last pick, you guys
always leave you with the best
left
one.
me with my number one upset choice, and nobody saw it. The team that is going to win, and they are not favored to win as of right now, is the New Orleans Saints to beat the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are at home, and they're favored by 2.5 points. I think Kamara is going to get the ball. I think Deshaun Watson looked a lot better last game.
He's looking better. He's getting better
guys,
and better.
remember when Kamara had 40 fantasy points? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but Browns don't have a good run defense. Kamara could exploit that.
Wishful thinking, buddy.
I like that pick.
All right,
but it's good.
So you're saying Saints to win?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying Saints.
Yeah, Saints are 2.5 point underdogs, which
I like.
Also,
Look, I hate Deshaun Watson just as much as Caleb hates Deshaun Watson, but come on,
he's getting better.
Come on,
He is getting better.
Wait, so you're saying, Jared? You're saying you think the Browns will win?
Easily.
Really? Because I'm more
It's
with John on
insane.
this
I think
one.
so
I think
too.
it's gonna. I think I'm surprised at how wide the spread is. I could see the Saints winning.
I don't. I really
Because
don't.
Watson hasn't been
either.
playing. He's been improving, but he's not
Their
the Watson.
their best.
That's worth
Watson still
$250 million.
sucks. He's always gonna suck.
Dude, he's getting better and better every
He
drive.
definitely did look better last week.
Yeah, but he's
he
not.
deserves to lose, but I don't think he will. I mean, their best player is Kamara, and Kamara is bad. He has declined so. I don't know if they don't call the right plays for him. I don't know if he's just regressed significantly.
There's some legal
but-
issues going on, so I don't know if it's distracting him or what. But
Yeah,
he's not the
could
same
be.
this year.
I
Yeah,
like Dalton. I like the Saints
Yeah,
organization. What they have going
honestly,
there.
John, I hope you're right because I
Oh, thank you.
do not
I
like
think I'll be,
Deshaun
rooting
Watson.
I'll be rooting for you too.
Thanks, guys, but it looks like I'm going up 2-0. I don't know about you guys. But,
Jonathan, what do you think? Is your prediction that you're going to go 2-0 and that we'll go 1-1? Maybe one of us will go 0-2.
yeah, I agree. Well, probably two of y'all will go 1-1. One of you goes 0-2,
And then you'll go
and then
2-0.
2-0. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So,
My goal at the end of the season, we all have the same record.
imagine.
That would be ridiculous.
That would be so. It's amazing how
Then
close
it would
is.
come down. Then it would come down to the playoff bracket.
I forgot about that.
I think I'm really good
John
at that.
lost.
I'm really good at the playoff bracket.
Yeah.
I think I'm the best.
I don't know. I think I've gotten.
Who'd you pick last year?
I
Did you
think
pick the
my
Green
bracket
Packers?
did the best,
No,
but I let.
I picked the Packers, and they lost their first game.
I think I did the
'Cause you
best
said
it was
bracket with my
storyline.
bias for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Caleb's was the
Skewed
best.
the
for
results
sure.
a little bit, but this year it's different.
Yeah.
this
Yeah, now you'll actually pick them and it'll be reasonable.
well, I thought it was reasonable last year.
I already
but-
know Jonathan's going to pick Cowboys Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Cowboys to beat the Chiefs. It's already set in stone. I can make his
You're
bracket.
smiling.
Yeah.
You're good at predicting what our predictions are, John. I'll give you that for sure.
I know what yours is gonna be, John. I have to think about the storyline. Who has the biggest story this season? That's what you always go off of.
Yeah.
So I need to think about that.
But maybe I'm always wrong, so maybe I should not do that.
We all have like my fantasy picks every week are always inverses of the reality. So who knows? We're getting there.
You can make a storyline out of anything.
You literally could.
The narrative.
So
It's gonna be fun.
narrative.
I'm excited.
narrative.
Some of your guys'
You
picks
can
I actually am rooting for, even though it'll keep it close. So I'm excited. They're gonna be it's a holiday weekend too.
holiday weekend, yeah. So we'll be back next week, so we'll have a pick then, and then we only got 3 more weeks left, so
Regular season.
it's gonna be
no more
gonna be interesting. All right, that is it for the Dorn Debate podcast, episode 15, I believe. Am I wrong on
No,
that?
you're right. Entering.
I feel wrong. I'm so off
Might
that
be
I
16.
don't even know what episode.
Might be 16.
I think it is 15.
Playoff race episode 15. You labeled
No,
it 15.
it's episode 14. I labeled it
You did.
15. I'm all out of whack. I literally forgot that there was a podcast today. I was so out of whack. And so it's taking me a while to get back into this, but thank you guys so much for bearing with us as we get back into our routine of posting the Dorm Debate podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys go follow us over on Instagram and on TikTok at Dorm Debate Podcast, and make sure you go follow us over on the Chalkboard app. The link will be in the description to download that, and you can talk with us about fantasy and talk to us while the live games are going on. So thank you guys again, and we will see you guys next week.